We are officially live. We are officially live. We are officially live. Let's see. Let me just check. It's working here. Card talk. Boom, boom. We got three people tuned in. If you are here, we are now officially live on YouTube. If you're here, I need you in the comments. Drop your name, where you at, what's going on, questions, shares. Let's get this thing going. Third consecutive week of Card Talk Live, brought to you by myself, the host, Tyler Schmidt. And I'm coming to you live from my studio here in New York City, in Tribeca, downtown Manhattan. My blizzard cap that I've been wearing for the last 72 hours, straight out of Poland. It's been an eventful couple days. It's been an eventful couple days, to say the least. Where's Tyler? Wizard Cola. Tyler's right here. Tech and Sports. Bernard, how you doing? How you doing, Bernard? Tech and Sports. Always showing up. Tech and I was with my boy today, actually. Netty Vintage. You might know Netty Vintage. But I feel like you two would link up pretty properly. This is an authentic hat. This is an authentic hat straight from Poland. I'm just gearing up for my Polish wedding this June. And we got about a foot of snow. I don't know really. Oh, is this Bernard from Poland? We're great, Bernard. Life is good. I'm better now that you're here, but isn't it a little late? I feel like it might be past your bedtime. Um, I don't know what the official snowfall numbers were, but we had a classic New York City snow day that hit, just recently. Led to some fun. Co tam u ciebie? Bardzo dobrze. Bardzo dobrze. We're speaking some Polish in here now. Things are really getting going. We have a great show going on tonight. There's a lot of things that are happening. We have three guests. One was a late addition, my boy Bradley Jack coming back because he was on last week. Then he left and put out a banger reel, and I was working my tail off the last 48 hours, slanging our upcoming manga series super stickers. Sorry, our spectacular series super stickers. And Bradley's the designer behind that project. He put out a reel that got something like 30,000 views. So I wanted to have him back on, get a quick tap in 5 minutes. Then we have my buddy Gordy Bonkers coming on, who's been a real friend, real confidant, longtime buddy, also Penn State grad. We got to stick together. Who handles the vintage market in a lot of ways, and then we've got someone I'm very excited to talk to, Daryl, Doctor Collectible, who you may know, who's one of my favorite people in the whole hobby. Traveling to shows, putting on for the people, does a lot of good brand work, uh, and just killing it in the content creation game. All 11 of you, I've gotten two comments from people. Just drop a what's up in the chat. Let me know who's tuned in, who's paying attention, what's going on. Give it a share, text a buddy, tell them to come hang, and we're gonna have a good time. I've got a couple different products that I'm excited to show people, and otherwise, Vault, nice. Nate, I owe you a text. Oh, Brad, did I not put you on there? Hold up, my bad, my bad, my bad. We do this live. I'm going Rust mode. It's like producer, editor. It didn't go through. That's on me. Oh, it's right here. All right. One sec, one sec, one sec. Let's get Brad on here. We're going to need to do some editing because the podcast might sound weird. Bradley is coming on. Thought I sent it. Boom, boom, boom. It is in your inbox, Bradley. And while we wait for you to show up, we're going to blast this out on socials. Cars Plus Owners, JP, what's good? Nate, all right, so I need to draw out what it is. I put out an Instagram story earlier this week about looking for a developer. First off, there's a lot of developers out there. Second off, I got to really hone in my brief. But there's this web app that I'm trying to build that essentially would be like a global rankings of something. And the way that we would get to that final ranking is through voting on 2 items, ELO style, that gets you there. All right, so Bradley's here. Bradley, give me 1 second. We're going to, it is a big company meeting. That's what's going on. Let me see. Boom. Thank you. Get this out. Tweet. And we are live. All right. I'm going to bring up to the stage the first repeat guest in the history of Card Talk Live, a near and dear friend. Somehow, I feel like Ohio is a very sneaky state and sneaky place. I know a lot of people from Ohio. It shows up more than like Illinois or Kansas. I think it's just one of those states. But I believe this individual reps Ohio. So I'm going to bring on my buddy Bradley Jack. Bradley, I simply wanted to bring you on.
Yeah.
You love. Can I hear you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good.
Love it. The execution on the reel, brother, was serious.
Yeah, it's funny. I've put out, I think, 4 reels since our meeting last week. Oops.
I know, and
So
it got me going.
you put a little fire under me. So I said, fine, I got in the groove again of being like, I gotta make a video today. So
How's that
I've tried
process
it.
been?
Quick, I try to spend like an hour doing it all. Like it's
Mhm.
really fast. It's like today I was like, well, let's make a video about the haunted holograms
Mhm.
insert and just talk about that. Shared a little behind the scenes because like I showed 3 different versions. So when
Mhm.
I initially pitched this to the team in Rips, it was like, here's 3 ideas. What do we like? And nobody's seen that. So I wanted to share some of that. And I want to do that with some of the other cards. Like I have a bunch of stuff we did with like the base cards, which ended up being
Yep.
pretty plain, which is good because they're going to contrast with the parallels. But I mean, it's a fast process. Like I use
Do
a
you
lot
have
of
the
ChatGPT.
ability? Can you pull up any of that?
Yeah, I can pull up whatever we want.
Yeah, let's
Probably.
see. Can you pull up some
Let me
design
open up
work? So for
Photoshop.
everyone that's tuned in right now and paying attention, Bradley Jack, but your last name isn't Jack. That's your middle name.
No, it's my middle name. Yeah, I
And
had
your
a friend in
pops was in the
college.
chat last week. Was that pops? I felt like that was
That was
pops
my
energy.
that was my identical twin.
That was your identical twin?
Yeah, my identical twin wanted me to. I
He's
think he
pushing you
put.
too.
Well, I think he put me on to like Gary.
Got it. So
9
he's
years ago or
claiming
whatever.
any of your work that is tangential to Gary is
He's
actually his work.
he's plugged in enough to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
To know that it's cool to do this. It's pretty much
Nice.
what it was. So he
Nice.
wanted to see that.
I do think it's cooler than you're giving yourself credit for.
Yes, it probably is.
Did
And
you?
I'm getting that sort of vibe now just from posting this stuff. And I'm happy that I'm posting this stuff. I was sort of waiting for the right time to do it, but
Mhm.
now is the right time.
Have you got some inbound? Have you been chatting with some people? Any new conversations that have come about?
I mean, I've been commenting with people I know in like the VFriends community. Like
Yep.
Soggy's been in the chat, Courage has been in there recently.
Yep.
I feel like it's still not like hitting them.
Mm-hmm.
Because like my main market of like people who follow me are like sports design people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the families haven't sort of met yet for
Yep.
Thanksgiving dinner. So
Correct. Yet.
right.
Do you feel? Do you pay much attention to the collectibles market in general?
Not as much as I used to. Like in 2019 is when I started sort of collecting. I went like super hard Devin Hester.
Yeah.
And then Obi Toppin got drafted the next year,
Mhm.
so I went hard on him. So those are the 2 main things I collect. I have arguably the largest Obi Toppin collection in the world. And I have one of the largest Devin Hester collections you would find as well. So
Devin
those are the
Hester's
2 there.
all-time Madden player. We've discussed that, but I guess what I'm trying to put to you, and just like at this point, I just want to have it on record so I can kind of be like, "Yep, I knew it." I think there's an immense amount of demand for your services out there, and what I mean by that is furthering the conversation that we had last week. Most businesses are going to be forming some form of collectible as a
Right.
form of marketing. If I think about all the coffee shops that have the punch cards, or just like retail is super back. I think about hobby shops in general giving out their own collectibles. I think about
Hmm.
cards being back as a form of collectible. And I think that your service is designer that understands collectibles. You should think about it in a very broad way.
Yeah, and that's sort of been my sell to people I've emailed. Like I've emailed a bunch of streamers
Mm,
and like their agents being like, this is a thing that exists and there's nothing out there right now that's
mhm.
actually good.
Yep.
So like, yeah, I do have that
Darren Glover's in the chat.
knowledge there.
He's an agent, but he's actually not an agent anymore. He's an ex-agent. So you might be able to get something done with him because he would understand your game. And I'm happy it took Rips being here for him to comment that I knew he was tuned in and watching.
Yeah.
But he's one of my favorite people in the entire world of business. He's one of the smartest people. He now also really doesn't like agents. And so he might understand getting a deal done because
Yeah.
he understands the enterprise value. He works
Yeah.
with one
Yeah.
of the bigger streamers in the entire game. So follow up with him. He's someone there. But I just want to
Google.
keep co-signing you because I think you're super talented. Nice, you were checking. See, that's quick work.
I
That's
said
quick
Google.
work.
I'm gonna Google him right now.
Yeah, you did.
I'm
That's
gonna
how
pull it
we
up
do it.
immediately.
That's how we do it. Bernard, Darren Glover in the chat manages the person that you keep asking me to get you to play video games with. So again, Darren, you just walked into a buzzsaw. You got like 4 people that are asking for your services at this point. Talk to me about this haunted hologram. This is the final look.
No. So let me pull this down here. So like this was one of the version ones.
Yeah.
So I've got V1,
Yes, Bernard.
this second option, and then third option was like something like this.
Yep.
And then the final, these are the finals.
Okay.
So these are all the
Wait,
finals
take that
of each.
slower. Let me see the first.
All right, we'll go back. We got Zealous Zombie.
Yep. Wait, the
Well,
first
next-
design. First design.
Oh, first design. We'll go here.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. So you started here.
So I gave 3 options. I sat down and was like, I don't want to just give one thing. Let's have some variety here to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I do these, I try and mock it up what it would actually look like when you print it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I talked to a guy last week. Actually, I talked to a guy last week about doing card stuff.
Nice.
And it's for like select baseball teams. Because like travel teams, there's money there.
The big time, yep.
I told him to make sure he figures out the demand and some of the production side of it to make sure it's feasible, but I'm here. So
whatever
like
happens,
this,
do they still do, like everyone when they're like, oh, I look at my baseball card and it's them from like Little League with the bat over the shoulder. Like, are people still making those?
I mean, so humor.
Were you looking for yours?
It's not in here. My dad used to work at a company called Moto Photo.
Okay.
1 hour photo.
Yeah, I remember Moto Photo.
For
Yeah.
the Gen Z in chat.
Yeah.
Or Gen A in chat. So he would take a lot of photos of us at T-ball games, and he would glue them to like acrylic and cut it out on a bandsaw. And we'd have these little like statues of us, and then he would mock up the most god-awful cards you could imagine, or photos of us. But they're like just our name on there, and he put stats on stuff. So like that kind of introduced me to Photoshop, 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's a full circle thing, like me trying to do stuff with cards.
Yep.
But yeah, I told it like it's an easy add-on package for a photographer. So the photographer takes photos of a team, be like, hey, $75 add-on, you get 50 cards of your kid. And you get
I'm trying to think through a couple of things. And people aren't going to watch this, meaning the people that I don't want to hear this. My wedding party.
Yeah.
Like, how do I do a card for them?
Right.
There was a really cool photo booth execution that happened at one of the VFriends events. That was that. Nice design. Again, another area I think you could kill it. And then I'm like, okay, do I just buy them a card of their favorite player as like the wedding party gift? But I'm like, no, I kind of want to make our own like cards, or could I do something for the larger wedding that's fun of like photos? So something for us to talk about offline. All right, let's stay focused though, because I tend to bounce all over the place. Give me your story and getting through to the final Haunted Hollow.
Second option,
Yep.
really, really baseball card inspired.
Yep.
I think we really like this font I used for Rips, or Rips like this font I used for Haunted. holograms, really trying to go super hard with this is what hologram is, this is what haunted is.
Mm-hmm.
The hard part with a lot of these. Oh, and I forgot. You know what? I forgot on this one. There's a solar eclipse in the back,
Mm.
which you can kind of see, kind of can't see.
Yep.
It's a photo I took of the solar eclipse. I forgot I put it in there.
Oh, sweet.
Um,
Okay, now I see the. Yep. I
So
see
it's
what's
kind
going
of
on.
spooky, haunted. We
Mhm.
could have thrown some other elements in here probably. But the trouble with these, and like that's the thing with a lot of sports cars, is like they got to be cool templates, but they got to be templates.
Mm-hmm.
So like, how can we fit all the characters in here? Where do they go? Where can we have a nice clean area for a logo? How can we have a nice clean area for the name?
Yep.
So this is more baseball card option, kind of similar to 1975. You know, sort of going with that motif.
Yep.
Then we hopped over to this,
Okay.
which sort of spine in the background, nice area in the background. This is the hologram texture used throughout the whole product.
Mm-hmm.
Really haunted holograms.
Yep.
Jolly Jacko down at
Spooky.
the bottom.
Yeah, spooky font.
Actually, it originally was this. So it was originally just sort of not
Yeah.
not
Less
spooky at all.
Yeah.
The character's spooky.
Mm-hmm.
And then we wanted to pull some of that back in. So that's where we ended up with, this, where
Love.
again went full bleed with it, which we did with a lot of the inserts. So when you're ripping a pack, you know exactly what's going on. You
Yep.
see black stripes, you've got a haunted hologram.
Mm-hmm.
If you see lightning bolts on the edge or whatever, you've got a spectacular showdown. So we ended up with this one, which was great. And then we've got it for each of the 8 spooky characters in the VeeFriends set.
Love.
And I think people are going to love these. Bold as heck bat. This floated around a little bit on what this was going to be.
Mm-hmm. If we were going to drop the F-bomb on him.
If there was a, yeah.
Debate.
I know it changed. I know
it's retired.
Before.
It's no longer the bold as fuck bat. It's the bold as heck bat now.
Yeah.
Which means that the OGs have a little bit of a little value. You can't find them nowadays. I'm not going to call them vintage yet, but they're on their way. Slowly on their way.
Yeah, the name of that changed around throughout the process, which was fun and interesting. But like this one, you're going to be able to see through here. You're going to be able to see through half of the text. Like anything that's white's going to be white, but everything else is pretty much going to be shiny holographic.
Sick.
Which is going to look pretty cool.
Sick.
And I haven't seen comps of these or test shots of these. I've seen test shots of some stuff, and the product.
I'll send you a text. I have a sample in my drawer tomorrow.
See?
I'll send you a text.
There you go.
Yeah, I have it going. I might send it to you, but I got to get permission from Rips, the CEO.
Right. I texted him today humorously because I was like, hey, I just want to make sure you don't mind me sharing some of this stuff, in this video because it's like,
full go.
No one's seen it.
Yeah, we might bring it out 4 years from now. Save fees on the designer.
Well, you guys have right. This is yours. You own it.
Exactly.
I mean, that's how a lot of my work is like the client owns the product. I can't share it. Like I was going to mention last week, like the coolest thing I made last year was if Texas made it to the national championship.
Mm-hmm.
Like coolest, like great Photoshop lighting. Ohio State, we killed them, which is great.
Yeah.
Graveyard. No one's ever going to see it.
Yeah.
Because it's made for like the SEC network, and they're never going to post that.
You got to put it out, bro. You got to put it out.
I can't. I'm not allowed. Like,
get in trouble. Ask for forgiveness.
I could burn the bridge.
Yeah, you could. You could. Okay, couple rapid fire questions. I got Gordy in the background. He's up next, looking fresh, looking ready to go. Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
My twin's a Patriots fan.
Yeah.
But they've won enough. I want the Seahawks to win.
Yeah, same.
They've
Sam
got
Darnold.
JSN on the team. Would love to see, and I know Ryan would agree with you too, because Ryan's a Pats fan though. Too.
Yeah, Ryan.
So he doesn't care who wins, and my brother's the same.
That's crazy, by the way. He can't call himself a Pats fan and then not care who wins.
Well, I think he wants the Pats to win, but he'd be happy if JSN won. It's sort of like
that's kind of like
1A,
fraudulent. That's
1B.
like you've won too many times to really have a say.
Right. I wanted my Chicago Bears to actually learn how to play defense against the Rams and do something.
You won some playoff games and stuff. I don't want to hear about it.
We were on borrowed time. I was with 3 of my buddies, or my buddy and 2 of his brothers. The guy I'm a reason I'm a Bears fan. And I was like, overtime we turn over the ball. And I'm like, it doesn't really matter. We beat the Packers in the playoffs. This is borrowed time. We shouldn't be here.
Yeah, you guys just playing is the best. After Penn State laid an egg this year, it really reminded me just how fun it is to actually be able to play and compete because we didn't for a long time. Bradley, any parting words before I bounce you out of here? You might be a 3-time returning guest next week because I just like seeing designs.
I'm here all the
we
time.
are marching towards February 18th, the release of Spectacular Series Super Stickers, VeeFriends' next big product release that was designed by the man that you're seeing right here, Bradley Jack, one of the best designers that I know, someone that is deep in the game and has a bright future ahead. Parting words from you, Bradley.
I'm gonna try and put out so it comes out in like 3 weeks. I'm gonna put out like 15 videos talking about it. So if you want to know what it looks like, if you want to see some of the alpha behind the designs, follow me on any social media. I post on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
Let's collab on some of the posts with VeeFriend Card and all that. I'll text you. We'll get that all locked in.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sweet. Good seeing you, man.
Right.
Appreciate you. Sweet. All right, gang, we are off to a rapid fire start. My Polish hat might be getting a little bit sweaty because we turned the heat on, but it is now 7:21 on the East Coast. There is still about a foot of snow on the ground outside in New York City. We've got my cousin Bernard from Poland just randomly in the chat, which we're pumped about. Darren Glover showed up and had like 4 different asks in 1 second. That's the life of being an agent. Alex Carbonier is here 3 weeks in a row, is right. And I must say, one of the individuals that I draw the most inspiration from, not only in this hobby, but in life, is about to tune in and come on right now. Arguably, I can't go so far as to say the face of, because that would be maybe disrespectful to those that walked before the man. But there's something very earnest and beautiful about a young, astute gentleman that dives into a passion and love when many might be walking around talking about One Piece or about, I don't even know what the newer, hotter thing is. I'll just stick with One Piece. My man Gordy is talking about like 1942 baseball as a former Yankees fan that is still a Yankees fan, but is unsure if they will ever win a World Series with Aaron Judge, because once you make $200+ million, I'm not sure what there is left to accomplish. Here is Gordy Bonker.
Hey, what's up, Tyler? I appreciate the intro, man. Thank you.
What's up, my man? How you doing?
I'm hanging in there, dude. I had a good day today. I'm pretty stoked. We're riding on some good momentum coming into this. So
good. Well, I appreciate you. Same day booking here.
Absolutely, man. I was bummed I couldn't get on it last week or a couple weeks ago when you wanted to. I'm stoked to see you starting to pump. So every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock.
Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, typically 7 to 9.
Yeah.
We're getting things rolling. We've talked about it. Like, I'm just trying to figure out. I'm also, I won't even go down that path. I'll bring that path up later. It's just about doing.
Oh,
right?
100%, man.
So this is the 3rd week in a row. As I look at this, I'm like, okay, background design. I got to put the card talk at the bottom. Clips. Right now, I've done like 1 per episode. I got to get to 3 or 4, if not more.
Yeah.
The booking. It's every day. The DMs, the promo. My promo strategy. I've got 9 people hanging out in here. To me,
where are we streaming right now?
YouTube.
It's strictly the YouTube channel.
Yep.
It's not on other platforms as well. Okay.
It's only live on YouTube. And then it will be, and I'll send you.
And is this getting published post-production to any?
Yep. Exactly, to all the podcast feeds. YouTube video and then audio podcast feeds.
Nice, man.
So, like all of those things, description, micro clips, et cetera, just like trying to build the process. The number one thing that I always learn is like, you don't got to take it all on yourself. Work with other people.
Yeah.
While we've had a lot of those combos, what's the play? What's the right? Do you overextend and give up? Do you keep it all internal? The balance of both is always a beautiful thing. I want to just give you big love. You put out that update video and sending love to you and the fam.
Thanks.
It's like everything. It's like there's so many things that keep going on that can knock off course. And
yeah, and
you gotta.
This morning, like today was so after I had family issues, had health scare with my mom, my grandmother passed away. I was like, I'm somebody who's been built on routine for the last few years. And I've really enjoyed like the consistency principle and like diving into that. And basically this whole month of January, I got kind of knocked off of that. And then as soon as I was back home from Florida after all that, I got really sick all of last week, and I like couldn't get myself into like a flow, like into a rhythm. And I was doing some reading this morning. I can't even remember. It was something Ryan Holiday had posted, who's the Daily Stoic, who's
Yep.
my favorite creators. And he recommended a book, and I was just using ChatGPT to summarize this book. And it talked about like building back into momentum when you're a person that needs that consistency. And I put a list of like very achievable things for me to do this morning. I recently purchased a big collection over the weekend, and it's a little overwhelming right now trying to condense it all, figure out what needs to go to SGC, PSA, Greg Morris, what's going to stay on Bonkers Cards. So like I was just like, just do the SGC submission today, just write one blog post today, make one short today. And then I did all those things, and then like I started cooking. I started feeling better. I went to the gym for the first time in probably a week, and like I feel great, you know. I'm excited to kind of start building that momentum. Us being in the Northeast here, dude, like this time of year is brutal. You know?
Yes.
It honestly, it makes you a little gritty. Like the fact that it is so difficult just to kick it right now. It's 10, 20 degrees. There's 2 feet of snow. It's dark early. Like you got to lock in up here.
Yeah.
But when you do like beat it, it is exciting. You know, it's got me a little fired up today. And I'm in a good mood, and I appreciate you sending love. And yeah, it's, you know, it's one of those things in life. Like you're going to get knocked down. It's inevitable. It's like, how do you get back up and like keep swinging, man? So I'm excited. I have so much stuff in my office here right now.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So Gordy, you spend, you know, I always like think about, like I was going to say, you work full time in this hobby. And then I'm like, my dad comes to my head and he's like, well, what is working full time or this? He used to always get perturbed when people would ask a senior in high school, like, where are you going to school next year? It's like, does everything have to be about work and this and that, what have you? But you spend a plethora of your time professionally, personally, in and around this hobby and cards, sports cards, cardboard, and predominantly focused, which is one of the things that I glean a lot of inspiration from you as someone whose brain can be all over the place. Interest graph can be all over the place. Vintage baseball cards, and really looking in the background, all the different things. Can you just give a little insight? Bonkers Cards, what is it? Obviously, you do kind of a weekly show, blog, you've got a club. Give me your elevator pitch on what you're up to and what you're building.
Yeah, Bonkers Cards is really my individual media brand. The focus is kind of just expressing the passion of vintage baseball, and you know, a huge portion of my content and my business is focused around baseball cards and vintage sports card sales. But it's, you know, I've been doing it now for 3 or 4 years. I've been able to build omni-channel presence for a lot of different platforms that go into different types of content. So Bonkers Cards Live, I have a weekly live show kind of similar to this on Sunday nights, 8:00 p.m. Eastern. That's where I'm selling live vintage baseball cards. Like I've got hundreds of vintage baseball cards every week for sale. But you know, Bonkers Cards is also the short form content, video content. I have the Gordy Bonkers Show, which is with Sports Cards Nonsense Media. It's a weekly podcast that's post-produced, so it's different than like a live show format, but that just is anything that I find as Gordy Bonker, the creator, interesting, that I want to be able to share more with my audience. So it has a vintage hue for sure. I talk a lot about vintage sports cards, the card market. I talk a little bit about golf on there. I'm an avid golfer. But really, you know, Bonkers Cards, and the most easy way to put it is a online vintage content brand focused on vintage baseball cards and sports memorabilia.
Can you give state of the, you know, like kind of like current state heat check on what's happening in the vintage card market right now?
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like I've been, you know, it's interesting. Like every quarter, I try to publish a quarterly vintage market update on my newsletter. And I find myself saying a lot of the same things each quarter. The market is continuously going higher. It's stronger. And for the reasons that I started writing and sharing content about this 2 or 3 years ago, we're seeing a lot of the results of that. The fact is that as more entrants come into the overall larger hobby ecosystem, whether it be through VFriends or modern sports cards or what have you, there is a trickle-down effect into the vintage card category, particularly because of the financial resilience that it has. It is not as volatile as modern sports cards, especially when you're looking at the all-time greats. You know, the value of Mickey Mantle cards has continuously gone up over any, year period that you want to look at. So I think as people get interested into the hobby and then they start thinking about the financial elements and if they're making or losing money on their collectibles, they often will gravitate to vintage. So that's been one of the tailwinds as to why the market's gone higher, is that price has gone up. And that is really a big driving factor to it, on top of the fact that you're just getting more collectors interested in the hobby that are traditional sports fans. Michael Rubin is famously talked about the collector is just the tip of the spear of sports fans. And as more sports fans are finding the hobby, they want to buy sports cards of their favorite players, of their teams, of the history, what have you. So you're seeing a lot of just new collectors. And when you have an increased amount of demand, a fixed number of supply, which is the vintage sports card market, the amount of vintage cards that have been minted are done, you're just seeing a larger rise and increase for it. So I have been buying and selling cards for the last 3 or 4 years. I got my start flipping $20, $30 cards. Then I went to $100 cards, went to $1,000 cards. I still sell everything between $500 and $10,000 every Sunday night on my show. But I have spent a lot more time, I would say, in the last year now, brokering stuff upwards, probably starting from 6 figures to $1 million in truly like the brokering sale. So I'm seeing that ultra high net worth card category as well. And in the last 6 months, that has gone way higher as well. And, you and I had a great discussion on my podcast talking about what influences that market as well. And especially us being millennials as well, and being able to see like this evolvement of the way that people view their money and the things that they want to invest in. I think the high-end collectible market has caught a tailwind from that. So you're seeing a lot of different buying profiles for the higher dollar figure cards, and that market has continuously gone up as well. So, state of the union is that the market is up, the demand is up for all the reasons that we've talked about for the last several years. And unless something really catastrophic happens to the overall economy, I don't really see anything changing in that direction. So it's a good time to be a card collector. It's a good time to be in the business if you're interested in it from the financial perspective, which I get not everybody is. But for me, I do make my living on this now and have for some time. So it's very important that I focus on the financial side to it as well.
What are like the 3 kind of like blue chip pieces?
3 you want?
Yeah. Give me the 3. Give me 3.
I mean, the 52 Topps Mantle is the most important vintage baseball card in the market.
Why?
Well, it has like the cultural relevance to it, honestly. Like the fact that it was until most recently the most highest single individual sale of all time. Even if you go back and look at card shows in the 80s, people flaunted the 52 Topps Mantle as kind of the card. There are thousands of copies out there across all the grade spectrum. So unlike the Honus Wagner, which doesn't really sell that frequently because there's only around 60 copies, there are 52 Mantles that are out there, and you actually see the market change because there's enough of them out there. But the demand, let's call this the market cap of the 52 Topps Mantle. If you just compare the market cap of that individual card against, I'm talking decades of other cards that sum the entire player catalog of decades, the 52 Mantle individual card market cap is bigger than literally decades of other cards combined. It is such a massive category.
And what is the historical significance? Like why?
Yeah. So the 52 Topps Mantle is not even his rookie card. It's his second year card, but it's the first time that Mantle appeared in Topps. 52 Topps is the inaugural set of Topps. And the 52 Topps Mantle card was a short printed card. So 52 Topps was printed in 2 different series. You've got the low series that goes from card number 1 to card 310. And Mantle starts series 2, which is the short printed cards that go from 311 to 407. So that card is actually more rare, just straight up because it was the second series of cards that were printed. It's the first time he's on Topps. It's an early playing career card of Mantle, and people have just gravitated towards that image since the beginning of time within the hobby. So,
and where does the grading, like in most, I think there tends to be an inflection point from a price standpoint where supply starts to just drop. Is it like where do you start to say, okay, this is a piece, PSA 6, SGC? Where is that inflection point, if there is one in your mind? In terms of financial, kind of like, you mentioned there's thousands. If you came across a PSA 2 or 3, you might say that's a sweet piece, historical card, amazing. If someone pulled out a
ton of money though,
yeah,
even in that low grade, I mean,
give some numbers or
So right now where the market is, even for beat up low grade 52 Topps Mantles, crease, don't look really nice. PSA 1, they're still probably going for around 30 grand, probably.
Wow.
Yeah. If you want to get a nicely centered 52 Mantle and a PSA 3, probably going to run you between 65 to 100 grand, depending on like the centering for a 3. I probably have 6 or 7 clients right now that are asking me on a weekly basis, do you have a 52 Mantle? I would like to invest into one. And they're looking for cards. They're looking for 52s graded between 3 and 7 mostly. Grade 5s probably off the top of my head, 180 to 200,000. Grade 7, I would put somewhere around $500,000 in the market right now. I personally sold a PSA 8 for roughly, I never want to share the exact public number, but roughly close to 1.2 million. Shortly after I sold that one to my client at near that 1.2 number, one just sold in December at Heritage for 1.55 million in a PSA 8. So
you might have got a bottle of wine from your client on that.
Exactly. I did text him as soon as the gavel hit. I said, hey, you might, and I also sold him a PSA 8 Clemente rookie. And that was back in August. I remember this very distinctly. I had it offered to me, and I had just sold one to a different client for 92,000. Yeah. And this one I had available to him that he could get into the card at 94,000. And the market was so strong in August. I was on the 12th hole at my golf course, and I saw a picture of this card, and the guy's like, I have it right now. You can take it at X number. And I couldn't even wait to finish the hole. I called the guy standing in the sand bunker on the 12th hole. I said, sir, I have this Clemente 8 rookie. I really think you should take it. And he's like, let me get back to you. I'm like, if you do that, you might not get it. I'm telling you, you should buy this card. And he goes, all right, sounds good. And he wired me the money that day. I got the Clemente. And then 3 months later, it sold for 150,000. And he was up big off of that buy. So
talk about a hazard. Talk about a hazard on the golf course.
Yeah, it was a very good deal. But
that's amazing.
I will never forget it because that was one of the few times that, I always respect people's opinion with what they want to do. I'll give them the information, but I was like, you really need to buy this card. Yeah. And he did. It ended up being the right call.
That's amazing. That's amazing. All right, give me one more. You went 52 Mantle deep.
Yeah.
One more.
I like that one. I mean, as another blue chip staple in the hobby that I like to monitor. I don't know. I'm such a sucker for the 54 Hank Aaron rookie. I've got one in the case behind me. I think Hank Aaron to me is arguably always going to be a Mount Rushmore type figure in baseball history. 50s baseball is to me like my sweet spot. If you were to look at other potential good options to gauge the market, the Ruth market's always important. So 33 Gaudy Ruths, there's 4 of those. And then, even if you want to go a little bit later, I think the 86 Fleer Michael Jordan basketball market's very important to watch. It's a very liquid market. That card actually trades very thinly in terms of like, if you're trying to buy and sell those, if they sell on average for 30,000, as somebody that I'm like trying to buy and sell them, like you will not get a discount off that $30,000 price point because they
Yeah.
sell so frequently at that number. So it's a very liquid card, and it's important to watch where the values of those are going.
Yep. Yep. Do you spend any time outside of the vintage market?
Very, I would say once in a while. Like I had I still work with him, but last year I had a client that wanted to allocate, I'd say close to $500,000 as a part of his portfolio into sports cards. And he largely wanted to do it in vintage. And as we got kind of towards the end of it, he was like, I would like to get some modern cards. So he did ask me to get some nice Ohtani stuff. So I every once in a while, if it's a request of somebody that I'm working with, we'll get them Ohtani, but I don't like modern cards for when I'm talking to somebody on the financial side of things. If you want to collect it and it's something fun for you, I love it. I think it's the most important thing going. I love what Fanatics is doing, but for me, like the buying and selling and just knowing that 99% of the stuff that's getting made today will be worth less than it is today. Hard for the financial side of my brain to be like, yeah, I should do this.
Totally. And you got a fiduciary for your clients to like provide them with
I want to always help people out.
Yeah.
So
what I know you have a deep interest in golf, and I think in the best way, which is just a respect for the heritage of it, obviously the architecture, all those things. Talk to me a little bit about that market. I imagine there's some pretty sweet, vintage pieces that are out there.
Dude,
what's going on there?
So I'm in talks right now with a really, really exciting opportunity with one of the largest golf memorabilia auction houses in the world to try to do some more content with them. Because like you said, I love the history of golf. And I think the golf memorabilia market is it's dormant. There hasn't, like what you and I have done for the last however many years in terms of making content and like talking about the sports card hobby. It's just left golf to the side. Like no one talks about the collectible side to golf.
Yeah.
I forget, you actually said this to me on the golf course when we played. I love how you talked about like certain industries that have been kind of turned on through social. And we were talking about the art market actually, and how that hadn't yet turned on. Golf, in terms of the memorabilia and the collecting side of things, on the social media side hasn't turned on yet. But if you look at like how historically significant some of these pieces are that are out there and where they're trading valuation wise, like, if there was I'm trying to think, like if Bobby Jones's golf clubs from one of his major victories went up for sale right now and they closed, and you compared Babe Ruth's game-used bat in a World Series and you put those two side by side, it's like not even close where the value is. And part of that is just education and people not being aware of this marketplace that does exist through, this one auction house that I'm trying to work with, hopefully soon. But I have such a personal interest for it, and I think it's very similar to why I like baseball history so much. It's a game that has a long-standing tradition. There's a lot of really cool characters in the history of the game. For me, like I love playing golf as first of all, just a way to like really focus your mind on one singular thing for 4 hours. I love the personal development that you see from golf. Like I've never trained harder over the last 3 or 4 months. Like in the off season for golf this year, I go to the golf sim 3 or 4 days a week. I'm going to the gym every day, doing specific golf workouts. I got the stack. You know what the stack is? It's like
what is that? The thing on the
yes, it's like on the end of your stick.
Yeah.
Weights. I've been doing that 2-3 times a week for the last 2 months.
Let's go. Damn. All right. I got to get my game right. I'm 1-0 right now. I got to get my
Tyler, I am coming for you, brother. I
have not done nothing.
I've really been improving my swing speed because I want to hit the ball like you off the tee.
Yeah.
And I'm getting there. I'm really, really excited about this year's golf season. And if I can, I've thought almost like I almost don't want to spend too much time on the golf memorabilia and the golf business side of things because I just love it as my hobby so much. And I never want, not that I don't love vintage baseball cards, but I have changed the way that I see it because of how entrenched I am in my full-time occupation. Golf is just such a joy to me, but that market has been, underdeveloped for a long time, and I think there's a huge bull wave coming to it.
Do you have an answer to like what is the 52 manual of golf carts?
So, it was interesting when I talked to the owner of this auction house. There's not as many golf carts out there. They actually want to launch the first golf card specific auction this year, which will be really cool. And really, what the crowning card is from, and I actually want to spend some time talking about this. I had this on my mind to talk to you tonight. Is the 33 Sport Kings Gaudi set, which you still you've got my card there that I will win back from you eventually. Yes. So that was that was Saracen, or it was Walter Hagen. The card from that set is Bobby Jones, the 33 Bobby Jones. And if you see that card in super high grade, it does trade for a lot of money. There's Walter Hagen, Bobby Jones, and I believe Gene Saracen in the 33 Sport King set. There is some other like obscure cutout cards of the early 1900s of different guys. But, you see pro set, I think it's called, like cards from the 80s of guys like Jack Nicklaus and stuff like that. But that's really like the golden era for me of like vintage golf cards. And I actually will be getting all of those cards because I made it a New Year's resolution this year that I'm going to complete the 33 Gaudi Sport Kings. And just like I have my 54 Topps here,
set.
I'm going to put the Sport Kings on my other wall, and I want to build that whole set. So
all-time set. Did you see Big Candy came under fire a little bit in the last couple of days? And I bring that up because a lot of the heritage of cards, cigarettes, and then gum, which was cigarettes for kids. This is the Gaudi Gum Company, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And I don't know. There was some, like they were coming for nerds and all that. They were saying arsenic is in all the candy. I'm like, I don't know if I'm buying all that. Well, I made my fair share of candy, and I'm still kicking.
Yeah, I need to look more into that. I still have a lot of context from the candy world. That's where I started professionally.
True. I forgot about this.
I worked at M&M Mars for 2 years, and then I worked at Ferrero for a couple of years. So I started in the candy business for.
That's gotta be part of your pitch. Like that was your real research and history that drove you into the card space.
Dude, I loved working there. I was at Wrigley. I was selling Wrigley products for at least a year there when Mars acquired them.
In the national 2018, 19, 20, like Card Talks bit was always, I think we'd make more money if we just walked around selling people candy and water bottles, because there wasn't much offerings now. And then now I see at every show there's 2 or 3 kids walking around with the cart slanging. I'm like, yo, that's good work right there. That's good work.
I love how entrepreneurial kids are in the hobby, and I do think it's like one of the best things about this is how young these kids are that are learning like incredibly impactful skills that they carry on later in life. A lot of people talk about how collecting is dead, or it's shifted a lot, and part of it is because like there is a financial angle that's more in your face with the hobby now, and little kids are more focused on the flip and stuff like that than just collecting their favorite player. While some of that might be true, some of it might not be. The things that they're learning in terms of like negotiation, communication, profit margin, buying, selling, risk assessment, which I think is like what makes somebody really good at this business is like, can you handle risk? Can you assess risk? And can you place bets on it?
Yeah.
It's
and comfortable with making the decisions. Like first I think about just going up and talking to random people. That's like number one. And then second, like you're going to make this decision. You're either going to sell this card. It's more on the sale side. Like, are you willing to sell the thing and then you exchange? You might get money, but you're going to not have that thing. A memory that is so clear to me in this day that I bring up often. And then, Doc, I see it back there, is my neighbor, Matthew Lesniak. GameStop is open. I think, like, at this point, like, the new systems are out, Xbox 360 or PS2 or something like that. And I think I wanted like a new game, and we like had all the old stuff, and we're like, we don't care about none of that. Like, we got to go. So his mom takes us to GameStop. There's a line. I go up there with like probably like 8 or 9 like Game Boy games, and I put them all down. Like, these are the games I grew up on. Like, I'm a big kid now. I don't need none of this. Like, I'm trying to get the new shit. And the dude like takes it all, scans it in, puts it behind. I'm like starting to feel weird, and he's like, This probably says like $27. And I literally start crying.
You're like,
Yeah, I'm like 15 at this time. I like literally start crying. I'm like, yo, I'm like, nah, I want my stuff back. Like, you're
dude,
not
I mean,
taking
that
that.
was their thing, though. They used to fleece kids.
Fleece you. So I'm sitting there in line, embarrassed as all hell. Mad people behind me. I'm like, give me my stuff back. And I like just walk out of the store. They're like, where'd you go? I'm like, I'm not having none of that. Like, get
Yeah.
out of here. So that is definitely something I think about. Like,
You
just
got to make that decision.
the things I remember most are cards that I sold that I regret selling because I would have rather had the card than the money. I think that is a very educational thing.
I get asked a lot about that if I had cards that I regret selling, and there's very few that come to mind. I do think that you have to frame it in your mind that the cards that you sold got you to where you are today, whether that be like into higher cards or different cards in your collection, or just, got you the money to be able to do other things. Like, there was an Aaron Judge bat that I traded a Pete Rose bat for an Aaron Judge signed bat. And that was the deal of a lifetime for me. Like, Pete Rose bats are worth nothing. He signed it till literally the day he died.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge bats, this was it was before his MVP, 2 MVPs ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was before he broke the AL home run record. I got this bat in a trade, and I ended up selling it for like $400 or $500. But I traded for a $50 bat. Like, I was stoked, and the bat did go way higher in value after. Like, it was his Chandler bat. This is the bats he used. Chandler bats are super nice, but like, it eventually got me towards my Hank Aaron rookie that I wanted. So it's like, I don't know. You can't hold on to the stuff that you sold. Like, I think everything can be a lesson in that. But I'm just super optimistic about like where kids are at today that are in the hobby. I mean, I certainly was not doing that when I was that age, and I wish I was, because I would be even better than I am now at it.
Yeah. But, all right. Parting words. You're getting ready to go to the West Coast Card Show?
I am. Yeah. I'm going to be going there. I'll be there all week. I'm going to start my trip in LA and bring my wife Amanda for a few days. Always try to I try to bring a little bit of like leisure travel when I go on these larger trips. Mm-hmm. Not just card show and leave.
Are you getting around to golfing?
I don't know, because we'll only be there for we get in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we're driving to the show in Ontario on Thursday. So not a ton of time. Well, you never know time. If I find
you might find it.
Maybe I'll go.
Let's be real. Let's be real. Sweet. Well, Gordy, I appreciate it, man. I get so fired up every time we talk. There's nobody, representing the hobby, and I say that, but really, like, I think you have a niche that is just so powerful. I think when people think of sports cards, if they're not in it, they think of stodgy, smelly, vintage baseball cards.
Yeah.
And we've got a young cat talking about entrepreneurship, doing business with Wall Street dudes that are looking to do portfolio stuff, and kids that are into $10 slabs here and there, and you do it with professionalism and grace. And I think it's just a great thing for us all. So I appreciate you. And we're going to keep cooking on the content. February 5th, I think I might have sent you an invite, but if not, I'm hosting an event in the city February 5th at the office. I was inspired by that Jackie Robinson museum thing we went to. I'm like, I'm going to start doing this. So once a month, I'm going to be putting on a curated night for collectors in the city. The first one's February 5th at the office. Hit me up. Whoever hears this, whatever, you can text me if it makes sense. We'll see. But yeah, I'll let you know. I'll drop you the info.
Yeah, that sounds great, dude. I appreciate the kind words, man. Keep pounding on this. I'm excited to see everything you do, bro.
Appreciate you, brother.
Talk soon, man.
All right, be well. Later. Sweet. All right, I'm fired up. It is now 7:54. I'm 9 minutes late for this next interview. My man, Doc, who I gotta say, in the last like 3 weeks, I don't think I've heard the name as much as I've heard Doc out of all different people's mouth. I get to work across a lot of different aspects of the hobby, different people, entrepreneurs doing tech stuff, people in the mud at shows, modern, vintage, what have you. But I'm always just really taken aback and inspired by, I'm someone that likes to do a million different things, have a million different interests, put it out there, all under the guise of connecting with people, growing the network. And this is someone that we're going to get to chat with. Bernard, I know it is 2 a.m. in Poland, and I appreciate you that you're still tuned in and hanging out with here. That's why I'm rocking the Polish hat for you, bro. But Bernard, you got to listen closely to the conversation I'm about to have, because to me, this is one of the more inspiring gentlemen, someone that is doing the right thing. And I'm looking forward to getting to know a little bit better, because what happened was I went to hit him up and say, hey, you come on the show. He hit me a little while ago and I missed it, which just goes to show, I remind my team all the time, like, no stone left unturned is the way to go about things. So now welcome the Dr. Collectible to the stage. What's up, D?
Hey man, appreciate you having me on. Yo, I know it's been a while, but we
Too
finally
long.
here, baby. We finally here. So
That's
yeah,
exactly
thank you,
right.
man.
Of course. Whereabouts are you? What's the latest? What's the last week? You were at shows? Were you down in Dallas? What's cooking?
Yeah, so recently last show I was at was out here. I live in Atlanta, so shout out to
Nice.
Coach Collision. There's
Yep.
some of their merch or whatnot. It was a decent show. I would say I felt like the country got hit with weather.
Yeah.
Snow, freezing, and just all kind of stuff was going on. But I want to say for Coach Collision, the people definitely showed out, and people got home safely. So overall, it was definitely a great show out here in Atlanta this past weekend.
I love what they're up to. You know, I've just enjoyed the growth and the different approaches. I think it's so cool as shows are growing, the amount of shows are growing, those that are taking unique approaches and really owning their lane, I think are winning. I also think the same for creators and all of that. Give me a little bit of a quick recap. What was the market like? What was hot? What was happening on the floor at Culture Collision?
Yeah, so just a little bit. In the past, like Coach Collision was my first show that I went to like 5 years ago. I want to say it's been like 5 years now.
Yeah.
That was the first show I ever been to. I'm originally from St. Louis, so being able to see that show to where it is now, there's everything that comes with it. You're going to see, to me, honestly, I seen anything from like a $90,000 sale that a deal that went down. Anything from I'm seeing friends making to like 6,000 to 7,000 from the weekend.
Yeah.
So I think overall it was a great way for people to be able to get sports cars, TCG, comic books, sneakers, apparel. I mean, even personally, I got this recently.
Let's go. Yep.
You know,
That's my favorite thing about shows. Like, I always pick up a couple random things and I'm just like, yo, I'm copping that right now. I got a little cash in the pocket. Like, this has nothing to do with
Yeah.
nothing, but I'm on that. I brought my friend home some like Labubu outfit one time. I was like, fuck it, we're here. Why not? And I respect the hustle that people were. There's buyers. I'm gonna go there and sell some shit.
Bingo. And exactly. I'm gonna be honest with you. I ended up getting this hat. So I'm not sure if you know the content creator Funny Marco.
Of course.
He has a big following. His brother, he ended up buying the hat. Long story short, I ended up doing some like content with Funny Marco there, things of that nature. And he came across, he was like, yo, I came across this hat. He was like, look, I thought I was interested. Are you looking to buy? Ended up even talking him down just a little bit from what he actually bought from, because he just wasn't, I guess, one feeling the hat. So I even got this on a deal from his brother.
From his brother. His brother bought it and then flipped it to you. Same show. I love it. I love it.
You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
give
So,
me the
yeah.
story. How'd that come to be?
Yeah.
Silver's in the chat. Let's go. My guy Silver's here. DJ Silver, one of the just getting to build our relationship, but one of the kindest souls I had the chance to talk to in a long time. Give me the story, because that video was going a little bit active around the space, and obviously there's when moments happen, like an individual like Funny Marco comes to a show, I think it reverberates, brings in new people. People want to know what's up. How'd that come to be? Talk to me.
Yeah, so I'm at Coach Collision, and personally, I'm working with Coach Collision just even on the media end and content. And Prism Guy, which is the owner of Coach Collision, came to me and was like, yo, I think Funny Marco is coming. And I'm guessing he either live in the area, must be in the area, something like that, must be in Georgia. And I guess what I've heard is that he was already interested, I'm guessing, into sports
Mhm.
cars, or he was finding an interest. And from there, he ended up popping up. Him, his entourage, video guy, his family, and I personally caught him to the side. He was looking at some sports cars. I'm like, "Yo, you went to TCG?" He was like, a little bit." When I was a kid, I'm like, "Look, let's get into some Pokemon." We ended up pulling, I think, I think they call it First Illustrator card or something of that
Yep.
nature.
Yeah.
And we also seen like someone across from us pull like a $250 Pikachu.
Nice.
So yeah, it was so much going on at one time, and just to be able to see someone like him, I want to say that was his first show. To
That's
be
amazing.
honest with you, yeah.
And
to
what
see
was the
someone like him
takeaway?
is
You
pretty
think he
cool.
was enjoying it, or like what was the vibe?
All right, so personally, I seen a video from him talking about doing it like a $10,000 deal or something of that nature. So to see him personally put out content on his own lets me know that he has an interest. But from my personal aspect, it seemed like they want to be more involved. I think they've done things in the past with maybe with Fanatics or things of that nature, but
Mhm.
to see him really be involved, I don't think it's not just the money aspect, but it's the nostalgia, what he felt as a kid. Maybe something that he collected and he like, yo, there's a space for me. Because I think I seen him at a pretty much other like anime events and stuff like that too. So when you talk about that nostalgia, something that we want to hold as a kid, I think that was the big thing I got from him was that he really enjoyed the aspect of being around people. Definitely was networking and going from table to table.
Yeah, it's great networking in business. Like the cards, cardboard, what it is like it's so fun. But like just the learnings of actually like being in a room, people doing business. Like people understand that they want to get busy, and like okay, this table is selling that card for 75. This table's got it over here for 80. Like a lot of people can understand. Okay, there's action to be had in this room. Doc, tell me what where do you like as a human individual, what are your collecting interests? What are you paying attention to? What is that, more TCG, sports? Where are you at?
I'm everywhere. I'm gonna be honest with you. My first love was video games,
Mm-hmm.
currency. My grandfather was in the military, so I will always
What
see
video
like a
games?
different coin. It's funny. I'm a big Super Mario guy, so I still have my Super Nintendo. I still have my Xbox 64, PlayStation, you name it. Like personally, like I can't rate. Like I got like
Let's
super.
go.
Yeah,
Trust
yeah.
me.
If everybody remember this is Mario Paint. This is one of the classics where
Oh
you
my
actually had to have the
gosh.
mouse. You had to have the mouse in order to play this game. So I have a Superboy where I play
Show me
different.
what other games. Run me through the
Yeah,
rest of
yeah.
those games.
So this right here, I don't know if people remember James Bond Jr. This is an old
Wow.
school game as
Oh my
well.
gosh.
Off Road. I
Off-road's
don't
an
know if you,
all-time game. All-time game.
yeah. So like a lot of my collection is built off a lot of that. A lot of my stuff was like in stores, but I'm like, let me show a
Yep.
few things off that I have.
Doc, do you know what's
Why not?
happening with fictional cards? It's what we refer to as fictional cards, like Mario's Rookie or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Rookie,
Yes.
or obviously, Batman, Star Wars, what's going on with all that. But like, I think you will, because what's happening is Comic-Con and
Mhm.
video games is all coming to sports cards. And like, this is obviously like 77 Star Wars, but like
Mhm.
these first appearances of like Peach are going to be big time cards.
Bingo. I think that's exactly where we're going. From what I'm seeing come on now. I remember my first time playing Super Mario on the Super Nintendo. I know it came out on Nintendo, but for me, my first time remembering was Super Mario Brothers and as well Super Mario Kart. And being able to play that game to now, we're seeing the movies. We're seeing the longevity of what these things are being done. I mean, there you go. Harry Potter, if I'm not
I mean,
mistaken. Right?
Draco and Hermione. Yep.
Come
That's
on, man.
exactly right. That's
Yes,
exactly
sir.
right.
That's
Panini, bro.
that's
Panini.
it.
These are old Panini stickers.
That's exactly what I mean. Like for that, Harry Potter is never gonna go nowhere because you got people like or businesses such as Universal, which I got a chance to be able to venture off and experience that whole just Harry Potter world. Like
You been? I've never been, bro. I want to go so badly.
it's beautiful, man, and not only that, to be able to experience what pop culture is going to into cards. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I have the full collection of Mars Attack tops.
Sick.
Yeah, like for me, Mars Attack, that was a movie that I grew up on as just a kid.
You.
And to be able to have them cards and see where I was as a kid until I am to as an adult, it's all about the nostalgia, man.
Bro, did you know
Come on, man.
artist that did this set is the artist that did Mars Attacks?
And you know what's crazy? I can tell from just like the coloration of the red
Yep.
back, because a lot of my cards have the red background
Yep.
going on it. Yo, so that's what I'm talking about.
There's
right
another one. Like, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. Batman, Robin, PSA. Let's see. There's this one. Yeah, you can definitely tell it like on this one. Let me see if this works. We're just doing this live. I'm on my produce, mix, edit. Is this on the screen? Nope. Here, now it's got to be.
There we go.
You see, like that's just the straight. That's Mars Attacks.
Yep. Man, the art style,
Beautiful.
everything right there. You can definitely tell from straight from Mars Attack to Batman Robin.
You have a favorite? So you're more nostalgia, pop culture over sports. Both. Where's your head at?
So I'm gonna say I'm everywhere. For my love of sports came from like my father.
Mhm.
Seeing him collect them Jackie Robinsons. I grew up watching Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire.
That summer was
big-
electric.
Oh my God, being from St. Louis and seeing that. I just recently bought a Mark McGuire jersey recently.
Fire.
That's my at Complex Con. Like
Yeah.
that's my whole thing with sports. It definitely came from my father, and I'm a big Kobe guy too. But
Nice.
it's like for collecting for me, it's not only just like sports, but it's also TCG, loving Pokemon growing up, Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean Digimon. I watched a little bit
Digimon,
of
bro.
Digimon.
I talk about Digimon all the time, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's that whole nostalgia, like as what it feels for me to be a kid. Like even I got something like this. Let me show off. I got
We
Power
got-
Rangers.
Oh, fire.
You know what I'm saying? This is the first issue of Power Rangers right here, and it was gifted to me by a friend, but it's a 9.6 on it
9.6.
by CGC.
That's
and
no
like I said,
joke.
that's the stuff that.
Oh, did you have
I
the
really
you had the
like to
Power
get
Ranger
into.
toys with the flippy head?
Come on, man. Yeah, the head that
Yeah,
flip.
yeah.
Come on. Aw,
And
come on,
sometimes
man.
it bangs your thumb. You're like, ah, shit.
I get stuck. You gotta boop, pow. Man, what a time. Like that's what it is for me when it comes to like collecting, just feeling the nostalgia of everything, man.
Yeah. Harry Potter or Luke Skywalker?
Luke Skywalker.
Mario or Bowser?
All right, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go with Mario, but Browser is no punk on Mario Kart.
Respect that. Respect. Who's your favorite Mario Kart character?
Princess Peach, she fast. Also, I would go with oh my god, I forgot the mushroom name. I
Oh,
believe he's like one
Toad?
of the Toad is one of the
Toad.
fastest on the
Yeah.
game.
Yep.
Yeah, I run with
Wario.
Toad
I
too.
was a Wario, homie. Did you ever play Luigi's Mansion?
Yes, come on now, that was on the Wii.
Elite.
If I'm not,
Elite.
Wii.
You have a favorite? Yep. You have a favorite Super Smash Bros. Character?
I wasn't too much a fan of Smash Bros. But if I have to go with one, I'm gonna have to go with what's the Zelda character name?
Yeah. Oh, Link.
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 Yeah, Link is
I'm
pretty
Pikachu.
good on the
I'm Pikachu all day. You have a favorite Pokemon?
Oh yeah, Lugia all day. Lugia for me,
Really?
all time great. Topps foil, them cards there is one of my favorite. I have like 3 of them personally in
That's what I
PSAs.
collect. I collect the OG set 99 game first edition. My
Bingo.
boy War Turtle.
Hey.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. How about like What else did I watch? Street Sharks. Fuck Street Sharks.
Yes, Street
I heard
Sharks,
it's coming back.
Gargoyles, all that stuff.
Yeah,
Man.
Gargoyle is crazy.
What a time, yo!
So-
What a time to be alive during that time, yo. I heard about Street Sharks. I didn't know if it was true or not.
Yeah, well, now you never know, but I definitely got hyped and I've been running around like it's coming back.
That would be dope. That would be dope. I remember Street Sharks as a kid. I mean, Gargoyles during that time was pretty big. Darkwing Duck. I mean, if you remember Darkwing Duck,
Yeah.
that whole little time
Sneaky.
period.
Yep. Talk to me. You've been doing some dope brand work of late.
Yeah.
How do you approach it? How do you think about, who you're working with and the type of work you're doing on the brand side?
Everything has to correlate to what I'm about. There's a few things about me. For example, I love everything that comes to collectibles. So usually when it comes to me, I want to deal with brands that align with what I love. For example, there's a company called Car Boss that I deal with where they are into AI grading. I love technology. I learned typing as a kid. I was introduced to the internet as a kid. So for me, I even coding on MySpace. If you remember them days, you're able to
Of
switch some
course.
codes
Yup,
around,
yup,
change
yup.
things like that. They get a
All of a
little
sudden, you
deeper on
got
that.
top 16. They're like, I thought this was top 8. You know about that move.
Bingo. Yes. So for me, it's always been about dealing with brands that align with what I love. Not only that, I deal with clothing brands. Geeky Jerseys is another
Mhm.
brand in Toronto, Canada that I deal with where everything is nostalgia from the jerseys and everything is licensed from Pokemon to I mean, I love one of my favorite scary movie series is Saw. They got a Saw hockey jersey.
Sick.
So yeah, so it's like for me, I try to align with brands. I mean, shout out to even Tops. They
The
me
best.
have a blessing to have my own card. Like,
Go, sick. Let's go.
you know what I mean? Like stuff
Yeah.
like that. I try to align myself with brands that want to work with me, but also things that I cherish as a kid. And I think for that, it comes off authentic. It always gonna come off authentic. I'm not saying I'm not gonna put out there is there brands that reached out to me and I said no to,
Yeah.
but also I'm very strategic on what I do.
Yeah. When did you first get into content? Like what I feel like we've known each other for like 20 years at this point. What
Yes.
what was it growing up? Who inspired you? Internet, video games. For me, the way I look at this world, the way I think about the platforms, so many times I'm like, that's just me playing Lemonade Stand back on, the Flash player. Like, it's raining out, I gotta, lower my supply. It's hot out, put the sugar up, whatever. Like, to me, everything video games. Like, who inspired you? What was that journey like as a kid? And then when did content click? As like, okay, this is the thing.
All right. Long story short, right? I always been into music growing up, so I danced.
Mhm.
I'm gonna definitely say I danced. I looked at
Fire.
Backstreet Boys. I watched 98 Degrees perform before. I went to a Backstreet Boys concert
Yep.
before. Mandy Moore. You know,
Yep.
I was all into that whole pop culture,
Yep.
hip hop, you name it. So growing up, I was always into dancing, Michael Jackson impressions, and from there, I remember. Do you remember Blockbuster?
Of course.
All right, so Blockbuster had a day where they would have kids come in and they would ask permission of parents to film them, and you would have it on tape saying, "What did you want to be when you grow up?" I told them I wanted to be a Power Ranger, and I wanted to be like some type of superstar. I don't care what if I dance, act, whatever that is. And long story short, that kind of went in place with my life, and that's how I got into content creation through dancing. I
Mhm.
utilized my little sister camera that she had and filmed myself in the backyard. And from there, started a dance crew and started traveling, doing these things. And in the process of this, not realizing like I'm a collector and a hoarder in the
Yeah.
process, like,
Yeah.
collecting autographs from
Mhm.
different artists and coming across people like Plies or like Rick Ross, getting a hat signed by Ludacris. And so that's where it kind of like fed off to me through dancing. Then I got into acting when I moved to Georgia. And from there, that's just hold my little placement of content creation. So long story short, I had a situation I had in my life where I was doing all that, dancing, acting, and went through a trauma in my life where I was in my car for a while during the winter. And like I started Dr. Collectible there. The cards that my dad would send me for my birthday was Kobe Bryant cards that I would collect. Remember, I moved from St. Louis to Atlanta. Them
Mhm.
same cards literally changed my life. Now I'm kind of mad that I sold my childhood. I told myself I'm always in the aspect of this thing to collect because I had to sell my childhood in order to get back on my feet, which helped me start Dr. Collectible. So I
Mhm.
feel like collectibles like helped change my life. And when within the last like 5 years, I think I'm like completely going the right direction that I want to be at.
That's a beautiful thing, bro. That's amazing. It's a little bit like what I was talking about before. Like
Hmm.
sometimes you sell the thing, but like to me, collecting is all about memories and moments. And like when I look at everything, it's like, oh, this is why I have that. There's some of it's financial because I'm like, oh, I see a play here and I get the
Yeah,
play and
yeah.
I'm gonna make a play. But a lot of like what I keep close, near and dear is like memories and people and all of that. Let me ask you this. Dr. Collectible,
Hmm.
what inspired that name?
All right.
Which docs? I got a couple that maybe I'm thinking could be it.
All
How
right.
what landed on that?
Okay. So all right. So obviously, going to college, I always wanted to have a PhD. Never got the PhD. I got associates in culinary arts. My dad's a cook,
Fire.
so I did that a little bit. And long story short, I'm going through like different names. I'm just like, yo, how can I transition myself to like not doing what I'm doing now to like in this collectible space?
Yeah.
I'm watching Jeff.
Identity.
Yeah, identity, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at guys like Jeff Wilson at this time, Luke Box, I believe, at this time. And I'm like, okay, watching their content, I'm like, all right, Dr. Collectible. I always want a PhD. If I'm gonna get a PhD, I'm gonna get it in the collectible space. And for a year, I sat back and watched people content, dialed in. I mean, these are times where I couldn't go to the national, where I
Mhm.
couldn't go to car shows because maybe some was out to stay and I couldn't make it up because I'm working 2 or 3 jobs. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at this and I'm like, yeah, I think I want to go with Dr. Collectible. I looked it up on Instagram at the time. Nobody had it. I said, yep. And I started with a emergency sign. That's if people remember my first page. I think a few people showed me like screenshots, but it was an emergency sign when I first started. It was no logo, none of this.
Yeah.
So that's how that kind of started, was me trying to figure out my identity. And I always wanted a PhD, but just ain't never got it. So I said, I'm gonna get into space.
Let's go. That's
Yeah,
amazing, bro. That's
man.
a fantastic story. You already got it. I was gonna say you well on your way. You already got it, bro. I love the energy you bring. I love the shine. I love talking about all the different popular culture things. I really, really, really believe it really hasn't even all started. As big as Comic Con is around the globe, all of it in many ways is coming to cards. I think comics are about to go ballistic from a actual being read standpoint, the consumption of comics, and all these just rookie cards of whoever. I always mention my man Otto Rocket. I was a big Rocket Power,
Oh,
but like
me too.
Otto Rocket rookie is crazy.
Something like that. Things like that would be crazy. Like if I could come across the first like SpongeBob card that was ever printed, or
Yep.
you know what I mean, like things like that. And there are stuff out there that's like that, maybe out there that we don't know of. I mean, even Wimby, I think his first card that I think was in Kids Sports Illustrated,
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken. So like, and it's one of them joints where you
Yeah.
gotta
The
kind of like,
perforated. Yep. Yep. Yep.
yeah, I mean, getting a PSA 10 in that, wow,
Crazy. Yep.
But
Yep.
many people don't think about that. So, like, Auto Power, like, yeah, that would be something dope to have.
What's the next couple weeks look like for you? Any shows, any travels? What's happening?
Yeah, so, um, well, I know I got event coming up in New York that I'm putting up to early February. Um, Also, I have Collecticon Something special is coming up with that, which is pretty
Fire.
cool. I do a lot of work with Canada, the Expo, Sports Car Expo, which is a great show. I consider it the national of Canada. It's like the
Love
national
it.
Canada. Yeah, they teamed up with another company that I work with, which is CSC, and they're doing something called the Showcase. Showcase Collector Show or whatnot. So I work a lot in Canada. I do a lot in Toronto. So I'm gonna go up there a lot this year. I'm excited about Fanatics Fest and the National. There happen to be like 1 week.
Yeah, bang
of
bang.
it. Yeah. So
World Cup. It's gonna be lit.
yeah, and
It's
and
gonna
then
be
you
a
got
big time summer.
yeah, and you got a lot of shows across the country as well. Like you said, West Coast Car Show, that's doing noise. Shout out to Philly. They got a
Yep.
show up there
Yep.
that they're doing very good at. So like across the country, it's a lot going on.
We're gonna keep this thing going, bro. I appreciate you taking the time. I'm looking forward to doing a lot more together. You got to check out some V Friends. I'm gonna send you some comics. Text me your address. I gotta ship you out some comics of V Friends, what we're building there. And otherwise, man, I appreciate you taking the time and coming on tonight. Hope you have the best night, and we'll be hanging soon. I gotta find you some Auto Rocket rookies.
Thank you. Question:
Hit me.
the event, February 5th.
Yep.
New York?
Yep. I'm gonna text you the invite right when we get off this. I need you there.
Interest. I think I'm already here now. I'm already here now.
Are you?
We're gonna talk about yes. I'm already in there.
Let's
yes.
go, my guy.
That's why I know it's a private event, but yes.
Nope. You there.
I
I
wanna-
need you, bro. You good. You good. You good.
You'll be seeing me, bro.
I can't wait, my guy. I appreciate you. Hit me anything I can do, all right?
Yes, sir.
I'll talk to you. Have a great night, Brody.
All right.
Peace. All right, gang. Bernard, I'm not sure if you're still there. It's definitely a little bit past your bedtime at this point, 2:22 in the morning. Tech and sports. Nate, I got to hit you because I really would like to try and find a way to make that work. I'm still navigating. I want to show some more cards. I got to figure out how to bring in some sales and some brokerage, but I just really enjoy getting to hear a lot of different perspectives of people in the hobby. So many fun people building different things. And I appreciate everyone that takes the time to tune in. We're going to be back every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. If you're hearing this, if you're seeing this, if you want to come on at any point, you let me know. More clips to be had, more deals to be done. I don't really know about this One Piece stuff. I'm not going to dive in there head first. I'm going to keep chipping away at my 1999 Pokemon game first edition set. So if you come across any of that in a high grade, PSA 10 preferably, but I take some PSA 9s as well from time to time. Mike Jersey, thank you for tuning in. These are definitely big time on my mind. Upside down. These are the Panini 2001 Harry Potter stickers. I'm excited about that Upper Deck license that they got. I'm happy it was Upper Deck too. Keeps it fresh, and also Upper Deck does great product and design work. Tickets I'm still dabbling in. Hey, let me fire something your way real quick before I sign off. See if I can find it. We in this with a little Ron Weasley. That's a faded joint, but we in this. I got some heat. Let me see. Here we go. We got the Draco. Let's see. There he is. What do I got? Some PSA 8s on the Draco. We got the Nearly Headless Nick. We're out here. PSA 9 on the Unicorn. I don't know how that market. I haven't looked at the market too much recently. I just keep checking the Paninis. But, these things are starting to pick up some heat. Had the shipment imported straight from Italy. Someone must have lived at the Panini factory and I cleaned them out. But I appreciate everyone that tuned in. If you get a moment, check out what we're doing with V Friends. I spend a majority of my time working on building that IP and brand outside of what makes you go PSA over CGC and bag. Nothing. Those are what is that? Through the trap door? Nate? Is that what you got? Nothing makes me go PSA over CGC. These are mostly purchased as PSA. It's what I've always graded with. I'm down to always Devil Snare. Yeah, fire. I definitely got to check that out. Nothing really. I just like PSA, I guess. But I mostly buy PSA. On Pokemon, you don't really see as much CGC on the first edition, from what I know. It's just habits, probably. But I'm always down on, especially on VFriend stuff. I do a lot of CGC. So that wraps it up for tonight. I got to get some chapstick. I got to get some food. I got my mom's birthday tomorrow. I got basketball at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Bernard, you're a trooper. I got to learn about this Wizard Koala. I feel like that might just be your auto-generated name, but I like your Wizard pick. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll talk soon. Be well. Peace.